What's up, bodybuilding fans? Welcome to Texas Bodybuilding News. If you guys don't hear, make sure you guys subscribe to our channel. If you guys follow us on IG, Texas Bodybuilding News. Okay, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, One More Bodybuilding USA. They just launched their website. Go check them out. www.onemorebodybuildingusa.com. Use my code JasonMarts10. Get 10% off. They got your duffel bags, belts, straps, and a great line of apparel selection. Go check them out. Today's segment was one-on-one with Jason. We got IFBB Pro, Hickel. How do you say your last name?
Hickel Woolery.
Yeah. Hickel Woolery. IFBB Pro Classic Physique Champion. Let's start from beginning, man. Where are you from? How'd you become to the States? All that.
Yeah.
All the good stuff.
Well, I came here from Jamaica directly. So I did my high school years as a track and field athlete. I did multi events. So the shot put, discus, high jump, long jump, running, relays. I did everything. So I got recruited to Texas A&M Corpus Christi. I got there right after my high school year. I got recruited to do the multi. So the heptathlon or decathlon, as you guys know it. So I got recruited there at A&M Corpus Christi. So from Jamaica directly coming here, no family members, just me by myself.
Is that something that you were out there searching, or you got contact?
That's something I actually needed. I mean, I'm from a very poor family. My upbringing is not very wealthy, I would say. Definitely came from not much. So I knew that I would have to rely on my athletic ability to get me out from where I was, My mom didn't finish high school. My dad can't read. So I'm coming from a place of, not having a lot. So recruitment-wise, at that time, I was one of the top athletes in the nation in Jamaica.
Okay.
I also represented Jamaica as a junior athlete as well. So I've traveled back then I went to Mexico, Canada, came to the States as well, competed at the penny relays in Philadelphia. So definitely did a few events that put some spotlight on my name. So I got recruited by a few schools. George Mason, South Carolina reached out. A&M Corpus Christi, the coach that was there used to coach in Jamaica. So that's how I was familiarized with him. And I got a scholarship, a full ride to A&M Corpus Christi. So that's how that worked.
And when was that? What year was that?
That was 2006. I started college in A&M Corpus Christi.
2006. So how was your transition from Jamaica to Texas?
Different. It's very different. When I first came to Corpus Christi, it's a culture shock in the sense of, in Jamaica, obviously, I'm seeing black people everywhere. Mm-hmm. And when I came to Corpus Christi, my classes, I was the only black person in my classes. So that was a completely different environment for me. So it was different. It was very welcoming. I didn't feel too much tension, really. Different culture, So I adapted well. I mean, most of the kids of my skin color were really the athletes, the basketball team. Really the basketball team. All the other teams were really definitely different races. So it was a different environment for me for sure, But I adapted, and that's how that worked out. I mean, the years were pretty good. I mean, competing-wise was really, really good. Even though I came to do multis, I eventually just stuck to throwing because we didn't even have a pole vault pit, and I couldn't do the pole vault. So I was doing really well at shot put and discus. So the coach was like, you know what? You're doing so well, just stick to the throw. So that's why I mainly stick to throwing, even though I got recruited to do multis. So.
And what were some of the achievements that you got during college?
In college, I was All-American discus thrower in college. I also competed for Jamaica nationally. I barely missed making the Olympics by like 6 feet.
Wow.
I mean, the Beijing Olympics. That would have been really, really nice. But, I mean, life happens, man. I represented Jamaica again. I competed for Jamaica a few meets, Pan American Games, Central American and Caribbean Games. So I've competed for Jamaica quite a few times. Achievement-wise, my top achievement in college, obviously, I was All-American. I was top 8 in the nation in discus. So that was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you ever plan to represent Jamaica again for the Olympics or anything like that?
I mean, that's gone now.
Okay,
I mean, those days are gone. Those days are gone. I really didn't have a throwing coach because my throwing coach would come and visit every 2 weeks. So we really didn't have a structured throwing coach.
So if you would have had
if I
a
had-
structure, you would have
exactly.
been at a
That would
different
have
level
been-
because you were
that-
just what 6 feet. Short?
That would have been a whole different trajectory to my achievements, you know, having my coach consistently every day, because I really didn't have that. And he would come every 2 weeks or come here and there. Some meets he wouldn't even show up because of how that was working out for him career-wise, because that wasn't his main job. He had a job and he came and kind of volunteer assistant type of thing. So that kind of sucked, but you know, you have to do what you can with what you have. So you have to keep grinding, man.
And what you do after you graduate?
After I graduated, I was a PT tech for 2 years. And then I got back into coaching. I got into, actually I was the assistant coach for A&M Corpus. I was a track coach. And my duties there was mainly coaching the entire track team. At that time, Coach Flanagan was the head of the coaching, but he was more cross country and I was in charge of the entire track and field program. So you name it, I pretty much have done it. I mean, recruiting Division 1 athletes from all over the world, stuff like that. So
And how long did you do that?
I did that for 2.5 years, and then I moved to the Valley. Got a teaching opportunity at Harlingen High School, and I jumped on that. That was pretty good. So teaching, coaching opportunity. So I've been there since Harlingen High School.
So once you start teaching here in Harlingen,
I started teaching there 2015.
okay.
Yeah.
And what do you coach there?
I'm the head girls track coach, but I also work with the boys as well. But my official title is the head girls track coach. And we have some pretty amazing athletes. So
And you've been doing that for
8 years now.
now?
Almost 8 years now.
Good.
Yeah, some good achievements during that process. So.
what's one of the greatest achievements you've taken your girls out?
Well, the main achievement really is Jose Garcia. I mean, you guys know him as the state champion in the 100 meter. He ran the third fastest 100 meter time for all high school in history, all conditions. So I was definitely an instrumental part in making that happen. Took him under my wings and guide him along that line. Right now we have Faith Franklin's one of my top runners right now. She's right now ranked number 1 in the state and 2nd in the nation. I have a thrower as well, Jasmine Thompson, who is
What grade are they in?
the juniors actually.
Right?
Two
Oh, wow. So
juniors,
you still
so-
got this year, this year,
so,
next year. Wow.
Yes, I have some pretty good girls. I mean, Jasmine's a thrower, and she's a junior as well, and she's actually top ranked in the state. She's, I think, 2 in the state right now, or 3 in the state.
Wow.
And in the region, in the nation, she's top 10 as well. So they're doing pretty good, man. Some good things are happening. I have other athletes as well who is climbing the ladder, but those are the 2 main standout girls I have right now. Boys wise, we have a few boys who are coming up, but the girls right now are hot.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so how do you like living in Texas? No,
I like it because it doesn't snow. I hate cold. You know, I hate cold weather. I can't live where it's cold.
Yeah.
When I went to Penn Relays in Pennsylvania, that was too cold for me. That was like 30 degrees. So when it gets 50 degrees here, I can't stand it.
Yeah, that's too cold.
Like too cold for me. So I like it warm. I like warm weather. Yeah. If it's cold, I can't dig it. So Texas has been like a home to me because it gets hot, but different hot than Jamaica hot. But it works because as long as it's not cold, I can survive.
Is it different? Is it because the humidity here
Yes,
is different? from over
humidity.
Okay.
And there's a lot less trees here in Texas. I mean, especially this part of Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, Jamaica, obviously, it's green everywhere, trees everywhere. So even though it might be a little hot, the cool breeze feels nice, you know?
Yeah.
So that's different between here and there. So.
Have you gone back?
Yeah, I've been back a few times.
Okay.
Definitely been back a few times since I've been here. Still home, you know?
Yeah.
But try to go as much as I can. Yeah.
How old are you, man?
I'm 36.
36? Married?
Yeah. No.
No? Single? 36?
Yeah.
Wow.
Single.
Awesome. So let's talk. How did you get into the bodybuilding aspect of it? You know, how did you hear about it? How did you get into that?
So bodybuilding really, how it started for me, like most athletes, after you finish your years of college competing, I kind of went in a little slump where I didn't know what to do. Competing wise, I was like, okay, what do I do next? You know, after college, actually, I was still trying to throw a little bit, but I kind of put it down for too long, and picking it back up was just not working. So I just kind of like fell off a little bit fitness wise. I was like, okay, I didn't really have that drive to compete anymore with anything.
Yeah.
So I had a friend, Tokini. Her name is Tokini Benibo. She's known in the cosmetic industry, like makeup and stuff like that. She's done a lot of Olympians makeup at Olympia.
Okay.
So me and her cool friends, and she was like, hey, you should probably try bodybuilding. Actually, it was in the Valley then. It's 2016. And she's like, you should try bodybuilding. I'm like, I know the stigma associated with bodybuilding. I don't really want to go that route and do things to my body or whatever. You know what I mean? I had that mentality. I didn't know. I wasn't aware that you can do stuff clean. You know what I mean? Like, people just don't know. So I was like, okay, I didn't really want to do that, man. And she's like, well, there's a new category who just started, Classic Physique. You probably want to try it out and see if you like it. I'm like, I don't know, man. So at the time, I met this lady. She owned Pump Advanced Nutrition, Janet. Her name was Janet. And she was like, I went over there and she was like, you should do bodybuilding. So my friend told me, then she told me. I'm like, I might give it a try. You know, she's like, I'll take care of your nutrition. I'll just tell you what to eat and teach you the eating part. The workout part seemed like you know how to work out. Because that year, I had promised myself I was going to stay in the gym for the whole year because I just wasn't like how my body was feeling. So I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to start working out again and stick to it for the year. And that was in January 2016. So I was working out and my body was getting back in decent shape and everything. And she was like, you should try bodybuilding, man. I'll take care of the meal part for you, tell you what to eat, whatever, and we'll go from there. Just do your own workout. You seem like you know what to do working out wise already. So just keep lifting. I'll tell you what body parts to work on, and you just move from there. So that's kind of how that started. Then my friend who told me to do a classic, she's like, there's a posing coach you need to work with. Her name is Sheila. I'm like,
Brown.
okay.
Yeah.
So then the lady who was doing the meals for me, she's like, I think you need to work with Sheila. I'm like, man, there's two people who saying the exact same thing who don't even know each other. I'm like, all right, cool. So I got Sheila's number. They gave me Sheila's number immediately. Got in touch with her, and there was Battle by the Bay at the time. That's Bernadette's show again. Yeah. That's a connection that keeps happening. So I went to check out that show because Sheila was like, come check out the bodybuilding show. You never seen one before. Come check out how it looks like, and we'll go from there. So I went to the show, met her there. She's like, okay, we can start posing and stuff like that, and let's have a show in mind. And that's how that kind of started. That's how the bodybuilding journey started.
So you were, you're genetically built already, you know. So you had a good frame at that, and they were thinking that you were already bodybuilder because you had that frame, you know. So when you got into it, with Sheila started, you know, posing with you, and you saw the show, you're like, I can do this. I'll do it. So what was your first show that you tried?
My first show actually was Iron House Classics.
Here.
Yeah. But that show, I don't think I was ready for that show because I met Sheila I think the Battle by the Bay was in June.
Yeah, it was
sometime around that time. And immediately when she saw me, she's like, you should just compete. I'm like, I don't know. And then Janet at the time was like, just do Iron House to kickstart it, and then there's a few more shows you can do because Sheila was just starting her Battle of Texas then. That was her first year of Battle of Texas. So she was like, do this show as a warm-up, get your idea of how it feels to get into a prep for a show real quick, and then do my show. I'm like, okay, cool. Okay. So I did Iron House. I just did the novice that show. That was the novice category that show. I was second. That my first show. I was like, okay. So then the next show was Sheila's show.
How long did you prep for that show?
It wasn't very long because I remember it was nightmare cutting the weight. Yeah. And I didn't know how to cut weight either. So I was just killing myself with cardio. So I just shrunk a lot, you know, because I didn't really know how to gauge the cardio part of it. Because my first one, I was just going crazy with the cardio. I was really in charge of my own workout stuff, just the meal plan that Janet was giving me. So that was, I would say, a month. Probably a month, I would say.
How much weight did you drop for that show then?
40 pounds.
40 pounds in a month?
40 pounds real fast. You know what I mean? So, but I was killing myself with cardio, which was not the way to do it. Yeah. So I did that show, was second. And then Sheila's show was the next show. Sheila's show was, I think, December 3rd.
And that one was the battle?
Battle of Texas, December 3rd. So I did Sheila's show. I think the date was December 3rd, actually. Mm-hmm. So I did Sheila's show. I won the overall there in Classic Physique. And then right after that one, I had a week. I did Texas Cup. Texas Cup.
Okay.
That was big.
That was Betty Priest.
Yeah, Betty.
Texas Cup.
That was Betty's show. So I did that one right after, and that was held in Houston. And that one had like 750 competitors that year. It was massive, you know. So I went there. I won the classic physique overall there too.
Yeah, wow.
So I was like, okay. So I won Sheila's show overall classic physique. Then right after I went to Texas Cup, which is a massive one. Won classic physique overall there as well. So the journey from there was kind of interesting because I won those two shows back to back, which were two decent shows. And Sheila's show, that first year alone, she had like 250 competitors.
Yeah.
That was a rookie start year. Yeah. So that's why I've seen the show grow into like
exponential heights now. Now they have the pro shows and all that.
So now it's like crazy huge. Now. So after Texas Cup, won Texas Cup, the following year, I was like, man, it's going well. I mean, I should just try to get my pro card now. I mean, because I'm just winning shows. Yeah. All right. So then the following year, I realized that I couldn't compete for the pro card because I wasn't a citizen.
That's right.
So then I was like, And
how about the North Americans? Because I know the North Americans, they allow Canada and Mexico, so they wouldn't allow you in that one either?
No, because I'm not affiliated with those either. I'm Jamaican. Okay. So it's kind of the same thing that Angelica went through when she was talking about her journey and everything. So I couldn't compete for the pro card because I was not a citizen. So when I found that out, I'm like, okay, cool. So I need to get my citizenship. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's what triggered me. I really didn't have a goal to get a citizenship real quick. I was like, okay. But because of the bodybuilding, it made me want to get my citizenship here. Okay, so cool. That's really what triggered me to get my citizenship. So that year, I think I applied to get citizenship in May. I did May, I think, or so. I applied for it. I didn't know. I was still trying to figure out what am I going to do. So I applied around May or so that year, which my qualification would have ended before I've got the citizenship. So I'll do another show that year. So that year I did the Lackland Classic.
The 2017, you mean?
2017 year.
2017.
Yeah.
You did Lackland.
I did Lackland Classic that year. That's one show. I did Lackland Classic in hopes of qualifying for another full year of being qualified. So I did Lackland Classic. I won overall classic physique there again. So I'm like, okay. So I'm winning all these shows. That's good. Yeah. So the following year, when my citizenship didn't come through yet, I was like, okay, what am I going to do? So let's train and see if I get my citizenship before I can go for the pro card. So the following year, they increased the weight class.
That's right.
They increased the weight class by like 5 pounds, I think, that year. So that's 2018 now. They increased the weight class by 5 pounds. I was like, okay. And I just started working with Sheila's coach by the time, Robert, in Dallas. So working with him for a while.
So that was the first time you actually started working with a coach, 2018.
So I worked with a coach that year. So that was interesting because he didn't really know my body, and it took him some time to understand my body a little bit. So that year I went to Junior Nationals in Chicago.
Yeah.
Went Junior National in Chicago. That year was like, that was tough because I was 15 pounds over before I even flew out to Chicago.
A day, 2 days before maybe?
Yes.
But 15 pounds up your cutoff?
15 pounds on my cutoff before I flew out. So when I got there, I was 12 pounds over the day before weigh-in. So I'm like, man, this is not going to be good.
How'd you knock down 12 pounds in a day?
It's not going to be good.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how to cut the weight, so we were just trying different things, cut the weight. By the time I cut the weight, I was just flat, depleted, dead. Mm-hmm. You know, so that was like a learning experience with weight control, you know, because by that time I was like, I was a zombie just weighing in, you know, so I didn't have no energy. Definitely didn't feel how I think I should have felt on stage. So definitely I didn't do really well on that show. I think I finished like 11th or 12th or something. So that wasn't a great show for me.
Well, let's slow it down a bit. So the 2016, 2017, you kind of prepped yourself,
Yeah.
except the nutrition. You had
Yeah,
your friend
yeah.
prepping you, right? You know, and you're already learning your body, kind of. Then you started adjusting your cardio to save. You know? Then 2018, what was what reason why you wanted to hire a coach at that time? Now,
Well, I think with Sheila and I decided it was like, you know what, it's good to get a coach instead of you focusing on everything yourself. It's good to have a coach to have your back, you know. And he knew his stuff. I mean, obviously he knew his stuff. It's just that even with an experienced coach, sometimes it takes them a while to get used to your body and understand you. So it's not a get a coach now, pro card now. Sometimes it takes a while, especially for different people with different metabolic systems and different genetics. Your body just adapts differently. The food you eat will change your body. So there's so many different variables involved that some people think getting a coach and that's going to be it. No, it's going to take some time. You know, you have to understand this is a marathon type of thing. It's not a 1 day thing, a 1 month thing. Sometimes it takes a while. Some guys you might get lucky with and you guys click and everything works perfect. Some guys it might take a while to understand your body completely.
and how long did you work with him for the junior nationals? How many?
So junior nationals we worked, and from there we went to I went to Miami nationals that year.
But before that, like how long were you prepping?
Before
with him?
that, I worked with him for right before Lackland into Chicago. We worked.
Okay, so he did Lackland.
Did Lackland with him,
and then he did junior nationals.
Junior nationals with him, and then we went to Miami.
Okay.
The Miami was also tough. When I flew down, I got to weight, but this time I got too skinny. I weighed in at like 227, which was pretty much, I didn't weigh that weight since I was a freshman in high school, in college.
Well, I guess explain to him your height.
Yeah. I'm 6'3", let's get 6'3".
And so, an amateur cutoff for that was?
That was 235 at the time.
235.
235. So I weighed in at 227, which is under.
So you were like way under this time.
Way under. So that's like almost 45 pounds from a normal weight.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You know what I mean? So again, that cut was, yes, I was super shredded, you know what I mean? Obviously, but I wasn't as full.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's not a battle. So no, carving up and getting back up to weight, that was not a challenge. So it's almost like these shows teaching me, okay, too heavy, too light. It's like you have to find a sweet spot sometime, which is tough when you're dropping a lot of weight, you know? So that's kind of one of the biggest obstacles I've been going through all these years, really, is having a sweet spot. I know my sweet spot weight. It's really 255.
And what did you place there at the Nationals then?
The Nationals, then I was sixth, I think. Sixth.
Okay.
Miami, I was sixth that year. So after that year...
Did you get any feedback at Nationals?
Yeah. Feedback was I was good. It's just I need more size.
So conditioning was in check.
Yeah, so I need more size coming in. So that was one of the things. I mean, I lost the size and I dropped too much weight.
Earlier, you said that you didn't want to go into bodybuilding because of stigma.
Yeah.
All these shows you done naturally?
Yes, I did. At that point, all those shows were definitely 100%.
You were doing naturally. You were winning overalls and placing 6 at the Nationals.
Yeah.
Just genetics, man, was out there, man.
That was definitely a big part of it, you know. So after that, I went.
So that's 2018.
2019, I did 2 shows that year. That year I did Iron House again, in hopes of going to Miami again and doing a little bit better again. So I did Iron House, then I went to Miami right afterwards again in December. I think
how'd you do in Iron House?
Iron House, I was second again, I think. I was second that year.
Classic?
Yeah, I was second.
Okay. And then you went to
Miami.
Miami there.
That year, I was second call-outs that time. So I was like, all right. So
you went from sixth
to second, yeah.
First call-out
to
second call-out.
Yeah.
And you were still rocking with Robert?
Yeah, I was still with Robert at that time. Okay. So after that show...
What happened? Hold on. What happened there? How did you end up from first call-out to second call-out? What did you do different?
I think my body just didn't adjust as well. Plus, we were having a little bit of issue with certain things. You know, sometimes the carbon up part of it was tough for me, especially. You know, I couldn't get the meals up in time and get my weight back up to where I need to get it to. Yeah. I think that show actually, I looked better than the previous one, but that's how shows are. I mean, you are as good as your last show, and you never know who you're going to compete against.
True.
I think people don't get that part of it. Yes, you were first call out the first time, But second time, you might be going against better competitors.
True.
So
I agree. Yeah,
that can definitely change the trajectory of your thing. But I think it's just a mindset. And that year, I met a good friend. I forgot her name, man. But she passed away a few years ago. But she was definitely somebody who was instrumental in teaching me the fact that you can't be mad if you did bad or worse than the last show, because sometimes that's not what it's about. Sometimes it's you just looking at yourself and seeing that you've made quality improvements. It's just that show, you're going up against some people who had equally great improvements, you know? Yeah. So it's just a mindset type of thing. You're going up against yourself each time. And if you have the mindset of going against yourself each time, one day you might find yourself in a sweet spot position too. So it's just having that mental control. So that's when I kind of got a little bit happier in the sense of, okay, I know I'm improving. Yes, this show I didn't get the placement I wanted. And you probably won't get what you want all the time. But you know you're making improvements.
And what are some of the improvements that you think you did there?
I think size was definitely better.
Okay.
I came in, that show I think I was actually right above the 235, which was the sweet spot there for that show. So that was good.
Yeah.
But even then, I think I was undersized because anytime I'm in the 230s, I feel like I'm undersized. I think in the 245s, 255 range, quality size. I mean, I look really good then. I keep the size of my muscles are full. But anything under 230, I feel like, or 240, anything under 240, I think I feel more shrunk. I feel like I'm shrunken out. So that's kind of the tough part. So after that, 2019, so we're at 2019 now?
Yeah, 2019 now. Then you
2020 COVID. Okay.
Didn't do anything. COVID. No, nothing in 2020.
Yeah, 2020 was COVID year,
right?
so that was pretty much no-go for most competition.
So 2021.
So 2021, I started working with, I think his name is Zilla. They call him Zilla Fit, or whatever they call him now. But I was working with Zilla for a little bit, just for one show. So with Adela.
We did it. So you work with a new coach.
Yeah, I got Adela.
Is that something, after these two previous shows with that coach, is that something you decided to do, and reason why?
I mean, it's not really it was kind of my decision because things were going a different direction. Mm-hmm. We were going different directions. Okay. You know, so that's something that needed to happen. And everybody was cool with it. We're still cool. So then I started working with Zilla for that one show, but I didn't really like that prep.
With Adela?
Yeah, for Adela, I didn't like that prep because communication was not how I wanted it to be. So that kind of broke things down. Mm-hmm. With online coaching, that's one thing I'm big on. Communication needs to be on point, you know, and I feel like the communication wasn't there. Mm-hmm. And I always tell people this: you can be a great coach, man. You can be a great coach, but that person is a great coach for you, you know. So sometimes you have to find somebody you guys mesh with, and it works. Because sometimes the guy might be the best coach in the world, but you and him just doesn't. I mean, that vibe is just not there. So sometimes that happens. So after Adela,
what's your place in Adela?
Adela, I was second.
Okay.
I was second in Adela. So I won my class and I was second overall there. I think I was second there. And then I started working with Roy Williams. He's a pro men's physique. So I started working with Roy Williams a little bit. We prepped for Burner's show.
Texas
State?
Republic.
Republic. So we prepped for Republic. We prepped for like probably 2.5 months prep. The 2.5 months we prepped, and I won that show. You know, so when I won that show, the judges were like, "You need to go to Masters, man, because you're ready." You know, they're like, "Yeah, you look good. You need to go to the next one." So at that show, this is the craziest part though. At that show, I was deciding because the Masters was that following week, Thursday. That following week, Thursday. So that show ended Saturday.
So it was like the next week.
Yeah,
like you had to fly out.
Yeah, literally.
And that was which one?
Masters National
in Pittsburgh.
Yes, in Pittsburgh. So we did the Saturday show ended. I'm like trying to decide, should I go, man? Because literally I fly out Tuesday. You know, like after fly out Tuesday and then Wednesday I compete. Literally. Yeah. So it's like, okay. So Sunday, I was like, I think I'm going to do it. At the time, I had a girlfriend. And like, you know what? Just do it, man. Let's do it. I'm like, all right, cool. So I was like, all right, cool. So I hit my boy Roy up and like, yo, let's do it, man. He said, when you get back, check your weight, see how much you are, make sure you didn't eat too much crazy. I'm like, all right, cool. I was drinking more water than anything else. I had like a steak or something. I didn't eat anything. I didn't go overboard eating. So like, I shouldn't gain too much, you know? So I came back Sunday. I weighed. I was 20 pounds over the weight I should be.
That was that fast.
because my body, I mean, naturally my body wants to be back to where it was. Yeah. And I'm dropping 40 pounds for sure. Your body was going to rebound real fast, you know? So when I got back, I was 20 pounds over. I'm like, yo, I'm 20 pounds over, man. Like, he's like, go to some cardio and we'll start working. Mm-hmm. So I woke up in the morning, that Monday morning now. You know, it's Monday morning. I'm flying on Tuesday. So Monday morning I woke up, I was still 20 pounds over. I'm like, okay. So
you got 2 days to go. 2 days.
I had to lose 20 pounds in 2 days. Or literally 24 hours.
Yeah, because you had to weigh
fly out the
Tuesday.
next morning.
Yeah.
I mean, so I had to fly out the morning, I had to weigh in Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right.
I had to weigh in Tuesday, compete the Wednesday.
That's right.
So I flew out Tuesday, but I had to lose the 24 pounds before Tuesday. So literally 24 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that day was a nightmare, say the least. That day was a nightmare. That was tough. You know what I mean? But I did pull it off. You know, it was tough, but I did pull it off. So by the time I got to Pittsburgh, as soon as I got there, I wanted to weigh in because I'm like, hey, I'm dead right now. Mm-hmm. You know, I need to weigh in, like no, and then I want to start eating. So I got there, I weighed in, I was right on the money. You know what I mean? It's right on 235. I was like, okay, cool. So right on the money and start eating from there. And you know, next day was a show. Went on stage and we killed it. Got the pro card.
Wait, and you did what, 35 and up, or what you do?
35
and up.
35 and up.
And then you got your. That's where you got your pro card, first place. And explain, like, how did you cut that much pounds? Did you just not eat?
Not eat, and actually working out, not eating. That's really how I had to do
it.
That.
You're fasting for almost 24 hours.
Yeah. Sauna, you know the works. You know, sauna, not eating, working out. Couldn't work out at high intensity, obviously, but that's kind of how it was for that day. It was tough.
But it was rewarding. You got your first place.
It was rewarding, you know. It was rewarding.
And from all the nationals, because you've done a junior nationals, which is a smaller one, then you've done 2 national shows, and then you did masters nationals. There are several different in a sense aspect. Which show do you think was like the most competitive show?
The most competitive, I think, was a masters because everybody coming in.
But it's because they're older, they've been on the game. That's why I tell people, Masters National, everybody thinks, how am I going to do Masters National? It's easier. It's like, dude, no.
It's not. You know? Because everybody is literally on point.
Yeah. Well, they've been on it game for like 10 years,
and
40
some of those guys have been
20 years
many years, you know, so everybody's on it. And the classes are big. You're talking about a lot of guys coming out, you know what I mean? A lot of people coming out. And some of those guys are in between classes because I think you can go down a certain class if you're 35 and above. So your 40 can go down 35. So you have guys who are competing
so like,
4 or 5 times. I mean, so you're coming against everybody literally. So that was the most, I think, most competitive in terms of guys, quality guys that were there, you know. Miami definitely has some showstoppers. Miami always have some showstoppers for nationals. So that show is always jacked as well. So.
And I know when we were at the workshop, you said, you met me. Yeah. I remember now. You came here to the workshop here, right? That's right. I remember Sheila, that's when you were working with Sheila, right?
Yeah.
I apologize. I didn't remember that. That was you, man. But that was years ago. That was
2020, probably 2021.
I think she came 2019. I think it was before COVID. Yeah, it was right before COVID when we got her in here.
2019.
Yeah, because I remember she was saying you were getting ready for nationals and stuff like
2019.
that. Yeah, so I apologize. I don't remember because I
it happens.
I don't remember. Yeah, we had a workshop here at Posing Clinic, and Sheila was here and stuff like that. You know, from all the preps, because you prep yourself, you've already had 3 coaches. What do you think is the hardest part of prep for you and the easiest part of prep for you?
I mean, prep is not really hard for me because it's like really my lifestyle. Even before the bodybuilding, I really eat clean, and I mean, so it's not really that difficult for me. I love to eat, And bodybuilding is a lot of eating. So it's not really a problem for me, the eating part. I mean, I love eating.
Yeah.
Yes, you get tired of some meals eventually. Like some meat, you're like, oh, I can't eat this anymore. Because you get so used to eating the same meal.
With the cod? Tilapia?
Cod, I can't do cod. I cannot do cod. I don't do tilapia at all either. But cod is one meat I cannot eat.
Yeah.
I had cod one prep. It wasn't working out. I couldn't swallow. I can't do cod.
Yeah.
That's one meat I can't do, man. Yeah. But the thing is, my body requires a lot of nutrients. So when I'm prepping, I need high quality food. You know, the steak. I like my steak in my preps. Chicken is nice, but I like those juicy meals. You know, obviously by the cut phase, you have to eliminate some of those juicy stuff. But definitely steak does well for my body. When I eat steak, it definitely does really well for my body. And naturally, I have a high creatine level. I do my blood work and stuff like that, and my creatine level is always above normal, even if I'm not even taking creatine. So that's one thing the doctors are always.
If you're eating a lot of red meat, it's going to be there. Yeah.
So my creatine level is up. Even one time I went, he's like, stop eating red meat for a while, 2-3 months. I was like, okay. I stopped eating red meat for a good period of time. Went back, still high. So it's just naturally, I think my creatine level is pretty high. So I have to watch how I eat and have to keep my water intake definitely high with that. But prep is really, to me, it's not hard. Prep is not hard to me. I mean, my meals, I like eating food. So the hardest part really is the cut phase, you know. Not eating is the problem for me. Not eating enough.
And you start cutting calories.
Yeah, when you have to cut down the calories and not eating those higher end meals, then that is the tough part. I think my favorite part though is competing. That day off or the night after weighing. After weighing is my favorite, because now you get to eat your carbs enough, eating your pizza if you have to eat pizza, whatever you have to eat, your burger, whatever you eat, the carb up or whatever. You can get some chocolate here and there, or whatever, some sweets. Like, that's kind of the favorite part. You can indulge a little bit more, and at that point, your body is actually in that phase where it's killing everything. You're burning up everything like real fast. So that's the phase I like the most, you know? Yeah. Where you see you're eating everything and you're weighing not even budging a pound.
So since you got your pro card, you've been out of the game for 2 years, you know? Reason?
Just personal reason. You know what I mean? I have kids to take care of right now, which is a lot of responsibility. So taking care of my kids really is the biggest thing for me.
How old are your kids?
I have different ages. I have some young ones right now. So those are the ones I'm really taking care of mostly. But I think next year is a good year. I think I'm in a better place mentally to get ready for a show. I'm definitely in a better place mentally to get ready for a show. So right now I have young ones. You know what I mean? They're under 3, and that's a lot of work when they're young. Yeah. So I think next year should be a better year to get back on the horse and get some work done. So. And
you're still working with Roy?
Yeah, Roy's still my guy. You know what I mean? He's definitely a good guy. So we had a good prep. We definitely clicked on not just the bodybuilding part of it, but also the personal part of it too, which is good, you know. So we definitely understand each other. So it's good. That was a good prep.
Awesome. Yeah. And what's the other side life of you, like besides?
I mean,
teaching and coaching. Do you do anything else on the side?
I mean, I personal train as well. I mean, most of my clients are online because I'm so busy with coaching and everything else. So most of my clients are usually online clients. I do prep for competitors as well. I mean, that's really it. I mean, that's kind of the different side of me as well. The personal training thing or the online coaching thing, bodybuilding thing. That's really it. I mean, that's kind of my outside world. I don't go out and party and anything like that. I mean, I'm really a chill person. So the bodybuilding, the personal training thing I've been doing for many, many years now. So most of my clients online, and I give them what I like in online clients. You know, like I understand how it is being an online client. Yeah. You need to feel like you're not just a number, or you just throw out a plan to you and that's it. You know, the person.
No, I mean, you said it. You said it yourself. It's about communication.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're not giving communication, you know, they don't know what to do, and then they feel lost, and then they go stray, and then they kind of come back. You know, you got to have the communication, especially if you're prepping for a show. You know, prepping for a show.
For a show, you need a constant communication channel, like especially the last 2 months, like. Your body changes so much from week to week. You need that person to be having eyes on you every week, you know, sometimes more than once per week. just to make sure everything is going along how it should go along. Especially that last week. I mean, the last week, your body might change hour to hour. Yeah. So you never know. You just need that constant feed.
Yeah. And for now, the pro level, it's a little higher, your weight cut. So what's your weight cut now?
Well, now I can drop down to 245. I think I can weigh at 245, which that would be, I mean, I'm excited for that part of it.
So that's like almost the 10-pound difference from what you've been going and showed before.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Because usually I start cutting from 280, usually. So when
that's your heaviest you gone?
Yeah,
280?
285 is the heaviest I've been. But at 285, I'm sturdy, you know. If I can cut down to sometime in 265 for me, I can be super lean at 265. So I know 255 or 240, 245 weighing in, I can be 250 on stage, which is gravy for me. I think that's a really sweet spot.
And now going to your first pro debut, what's some of the things that you and your coach talk about to work on? What do you want to bring out?
Posing is something that we want to get better at. I think we can deliver better posing. Definitely have Sheila's as well. We're going to try some new things in the posing. Try to be a little bit more powerful with the posing. I think that's something we talked about a lot. I think physique-wise, I have a really nice physique already. I just need to make sure I bring my A game when it comes to that. I mean, I think the last show showed us we could do pretty good, you know? So we know how my body reacts now. Obviously, I know what works on my body now. So the posing definitely is something I think I should bring a little harder. And that should take care of most of the stuff. Because posing can kill you. You know, so.
No, it does. I always tell people presentation is key. You know, presentation, if you don't have it there, you might have the physique, but if you don't know how to show it, you know, it's not going to help, you know. And, I mean, you're already a mindset of, you know, an athlete. So keeping you motivated and keeping you going, there's nothing different, right? You know, it's nothing for you, you know. What do you tell the... I mean, because you're barely fairly new into the game, so, you know, old school, new school. But somebody starting off, what is some advice that you give somebody that's starting off into the bodybuilding world now? Well,
the thing I would tell them is to be patient. I think everybody wants it now. Patience is the key. Even if you win your first 2 shows, I tell everybody, you can start competing, do as many shows as you can the first couple of years, just to figure it out, you know, figure out your posing, figure out being confident on stage, because no matter who you are, when you first start, you're going to be nervous as hell. You know what I mean? Like, you practice posing a certain way, your routine a certain way, you get on stage, like, lights are out. You never know what you're doing anymore. And the time feels like, even though it's 35 seconds sometimes for posing, that feels like 10 seconds. Like, you're like...
It goes quick.
I mean, and even that 10 seconds might feel like 30 seconds. You're like, I'm going to be up here forever. What am I doing next? What am I doing next? So... It just varies. So I think learning your stage presence, learning what works for you, learning what poses work for you, being patient to understanding your body, you know, make your coach understand your body. I think that's the key. Patience is key, because everybody thinks getting a pro card is just like this, and every show brings its own challenges. As I mentioned, I went through all these different shows. Every show presents a different challenge, you know? True. So you could be doing so many different shows, but at the same time, you're figuring out, okay, if I fly to this show, that affected my body, just flying over. You know, if I drove to this show, that driving did this to my body. My skin looked a certain way by driving somewhere, by sitting too long. Like, every little thing matters. So I think being patient in learning your body, learning what food works for you, enjoying the journey. I think that's something I would tell people who are doing this. Being patient and enjoy the journey, you know. Do it because you love it, not for a pro card. Because it won't be fun getting the pro card if you don't enjoy the process.
Well, great keys right there. That's a very important parts of getting into the bodybuilding, you know, especially, like you said, being patient. A lot of people they want it so fast. You know, they want it too fast. So they're... You know, and that's why they end up doing something they shouldn't, and they mess up their physique afterwards, and it's just out of there. So besides your pro debut 2024, do you plan to stay here in the Valley? What's your future for you?
I'm in the Valley. You know, my kids are here, so I'm going to be here. I'm really here just because my kids, really. I mean, so I'm going to be in the Valley for a few more years, obviously. So I don't really have no plans on going anywhere, so I'll be here for a while. Pro debut, I'm looking forward to that. I don't know where yet or when exact date, but we'll see. I'm not rushing. You know, I'm just taking my time and figuring out how am I going to approach this? So what show I'm going to do? Pretty something decent for the year. I want to put a good package out there, obviously. So I'm in no rush, but definitely I'm going to be here in the Valley. Yeah.
And have you ever thought about from going to open too? Because I mean, you're already playing with the big boys already at that weight, man. 245, 250, 260. That's open weight already, man.
But I think for my height, I would have to definitely add on a lot more size, you know. And I don't want to go that route because that route is.
Well, how tall was Sean Roden?
Sean Roden wasn't that tall. He was
5'11"?
6, probably
6?
close to 6.
Okay, so you're.
But I mean, he was Jamaican too, actually.
Yeah.
He was Jamaican too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I thought he was at least 6, so I'm thinking like him. He flowed pretty good.
He
so
flowed pretty good. He flowed pretty good. I think if I was to go in the open, I would say 270 would be where I'd need to be, which means I would have to be over 300 pounds.
Yeah, I'll see. That's a lot of work, right? You're like, I like to eat, but that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And I feel like that's a lot of stress in your heart. You know what I mean? I always feel like I like being a more healthier look.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think classic physique is just a perfect mesh. You know, you don't have to go crazy with anything. You can stay in the normal range. You know what I mean? And keep your body healthy. I think that's a good range for you.
Awesome. Well, so you are the first, you know. And when did you get your citizenship? What year was that?
2018.
Okay, 2018. So.
Applied 2017, 2018.
Okay, so congratulations on that.
Yeah.
And then congratulations on your IFBB Pro Card, classic physique here from the Valley. Can't wait to see your pro debut. Any last words? You want to tell anybody out there?
Stay motivated, man, and stay motivated and stay in the grind. I think that's one thing that all of us need to do. We have to understand that this is more than just, even with bodybuilding, it's more than a sport because you're taking care of your body, make sure you're healthy, but stay consistent on the grind.
And what's your IG so somebody can follow
IG
you?
is HW_FitKing_IFBB Pro.
And is that if they want to do reach out for you for online coaching?
Yeah,
reach out there.
DM me.
Okay.
I'm not hard to find. I mean, my name is very uncommon, so I'm not very difficult to find at all.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming by to talk with us, to give us a journey on one is coming from Jamaica to the Valley. That's something different there. And even that, I mean, congratulations in your college career in track and field, man. That's awesome. Yeah. And you're bringing these young athletes to the top also in high school. Keep doing that. Keep representing the Valley there.
Yeah.
And like I said, 2024. Let's see, that'd be your pro debut.
Let's see.
So let's get a shout out to our sponsor, One More Bodybuilding. Go check out their website, onemorebodybuildingusa.com. Use my code JasonMarts10, save 10%. Make sure you guys give us a follow. Also give us a like if you like the video. Subscribe. Till next time, get the last rep in. Peace. What's up, guys? If you guys looking for a great line of supplements, check out Jack Factory. Jack Factory got some great line of supplements. They got your fat burners, pre-workouts, essentials, proteins. Link is in the description. Use my code Jason, save 20%. Go check them out. Use my link and code and save 20%. The stack that I'm using right now is a Nitro Surge Built with a couple of capsules of NOXT pre-workout. During my workout, I got the EAA Surge. And then post-workout, I got my Growth Surge and my protein. So go check them out. Use the link in the description and my code Jason, save 20%.